Deep within the confines of the human mind, there are realms where light struggles to reach. These are the places where sorrow, regrets, and haunting memories reside. Today, we'll traverse these dark corridors with 5 tales that dive into the heart of depression, painting a vivid picture of its relentless pull. Will you recognize a reflection of your own experiences within these stories? Or perhaps they will serve as a stark reminder of battles others silently face. Story number 1, The Echoing Void. Amelia, a once joyful spirit known for her infectious laughter, had recently felt trapped in a maze of desolation. With each day, she could sense a growing emptiness consuming her. Sounds from the world outside became faint whispers, always drowned out by the sinister murmurs inside her head. Each whisper was a brutal critique, echoing her gravest insecurities: unworthy, invisible, alone. Her world, once vibrant and full of color, now seemed a monochrome movie, playing scenes of her perceived inadequacies on a loop. She decided to escape to the attic, a place filled with memories of happier times. But here, she stumbled upon a tarnished, ornate mirror. This mirror had an unsettling quality. It reflected not Amelia's face, but the tumultuous storm of cruel thoughts that ensnared her. Over time, she began to confide in the mirror, sharing her darkest moments, hoping to find solace. But would confronting these reflections free her from their grip, or would the echoing void prove too vast to overcome? Story number 2, Shadows on the Wall. John's room had always been his sanctuary, a place where he found peace. Lately, however, the room felt different, more confining. On nights when sleep eluded him, he'd find solace in watching the delicate dance of shadows on his wall. But with time, these benign shadows transformed. They began to resemble hauntingly familiar forms, shapes of past betrayals and haunting regrets. These grotesque silhouettes seemed to taunt him, replaying moments of anguish and humiliation from his life. One particularly bleak night, as rain pattered against the window, the shadows merged to form an imposing figure, an embodiment of John's deepest despair. This sinister doppelganger seemed intent on pulling John into the abyss of his past mistakes, but as the first rays of dawn approached, John realized he had to confront not just the shadows on the wall, but also the ones within himself. Would he find a glimmer of hope strong enough to dispel the engulfing darkness? Story number 3, The Weight of the Lake. Lily had always found solace by the lakeside. It was her escape, her refuge from the world's chaos. But the lake had transformed. Its once clear waters now looked almost abyssal, with a heaviness that seemed to mirror Lily's spirit. Each time she ventured close, the water would reveal haunting reflections, not of the serene landscape, but of heart-wrenching moments when despair had almost broken her. One evening, as the crimson hues of sunset dappled the water, she felt an irresistible pull. It was as though the lake wished to submerge her in the sorrow of her own memories. But among these somber reflections, there were also glimpses of joy, love, and hope. These were the anchors she clung to during her darkest moments. Would they be powerful enough to counter the weight of the lake, or would its depths claim her spirit forever? Story number 4, Fading Footprints. Charlotte lived in an old, spacious house, the kind that seemed to absorb sounds and emotions over time, leaving an echo of generations past. Every morning, Charlotte would trace the same path from her room to the kitchen, her footsteps creating a comforting pattern. But as the weight of depression began to descend, her routine became more challenging. It started subtly. One day, she noticed her footprints fading quicker than usual. Over the next few days, they began to vanish almost immediately, leaving no trace of her movement. Panic started to take root. Was she becoming insubstantial, or was the world around her forgetting her presence? One evening, as a heavy mist enveloped the house, she saw outlines of countless other footprints in the hall, none of which she recognized. They seemed to represent all the forgotten souls that once tread these wooden floors. Guided by an unknown force, she decided to follow these phantom steps, hoping they might lead her out of her despairing maze. But was this journey one of self-discovery or a deeper plunge into the abyss? Story number 5. The Silent Symphony. Lucas had always been a lover of music. From the soft strumming of acoustic guitars to the powerful crescendos of orchestras, melodies coursed through his veins. But depression, like a silent conductor, had started to muffle the symphonies around him. Each day, sounds became more distant, as if he was submerged underwater. The joyous harmonies that once filled his heart now felt like haunting reverberations from a forgotten life. In the depths of his despair, he chanced upon an old cobweb-covered piano in the attic. It appeared to have not been played for years, yet Lucas felt an inexplicable connection. As his fingers graced the keys, they didn't produce melodies, but instead resonated with his emotions. Every tear, every sigh, every pang of loneliness. This piano, it seemed, played the silent symphonies of his soul. With each passing day, as he poured his heart into this old instrument, Lucas began to realize that the key to combating his silencing world was to create his own music, to find a voice in the midst of the engulfing silence. Would the notes he played guide him back to the vibrant world of sound, or would they further amplify his solitude?